Okay, knitters, now we're going to rip out our rows. Oh my gosh, how do I do that? Okay, so if I just screwed up my last row and this looks really bad, or I did the wrong color, or accidentally purled on top of a knit or whatever, there's a lot of different ways to rip. This works for any stitch, for any kind of knitter, no matter what you're doing, cabling, ribbing, seed stitch, all knitting, knitting and purling, knit one, purl one, whatever the stitch is, ripping like this works for anything, okay? So if I only have to rip out one row, I'm just gonna leave it on my needle and I'm gonna unpluck. So I am going in the stitch that's under the stitch on the needle. So not this one, but right here. This is the stitch under what's on the stitch on the needle. Go in here, take what's on the needle off. So I'm going in like a purl, always like a purl. It doesn't matter what this is, what you've knit, doesn't matter, okay? So I'm going in from back to front, not the stitch that's on the needle, the one under it. See, this is what's on my needle. This is the one right below. Okay, I'm going in there, pulling it off, taking the live stitch. These are live stitches. That means we're about to work them. That's what we're ripping out. I'm going in the stitch below, taking one off. Okay, going in the stitch below. I'm going right to left. I'm unknitting. Stitch below, take this one off. Stitch below, take this one off. Okay, I can also, if I have to rip out a bunch of rows, like 5 inches, I knit my piece too long, I gotta take everything out. I'm not gonna do row by row by row by row while it's on a needle. I'm gonna just rip this sucker off the needle. And then I do the same thing. Go in below what's live. This is the live stitch I would normally knit. I'm going right below that one, in like a purl, taking this one off. In like a purl, taking this one off. Keep your work close to the tips of your needle, right? Don't pull it too much because you might lose something, all right? So you just go in, pull it off. In like a purl, so from the back of the stitch through, take this one off. In like a purl, through, take it off. In like a purl, take it off. Oops, oh no, I lost it. Oh, that's okay, just come in through the back, put it back on. In like a purl, take it off. In like a purl. Like a lot of people in the last stitch accidentally take it all the way off, so you're like, oh no, what did I just do? We accidentally ripped out the first stitch of the next row. So all you have to do is put that back on your needle and just knit it or purl it or whatever the stitch is supposed to be, okay? So if you need to rip out a few rows, okay? You don't have to do one stitch at a time or one row at a time. Take it off the needle, don't be afraid. Rip, rip, rip. This is important too. If you have like a project that's been sitting in your closet for 2 years, you wanna rip a couple rows before you start it again because it'll crease. Just like the pant legs on your pants crease when they've been on a hanger for too long, you'll have a crease if something's been on your needle for 6 months to a year. So just rip out a couple of rows, and on the very last row that you need to rip, you rip as you put it on the needle. It's much easier if the needle you put it onto is 2 sizes smaller than your working needle. So I'm on a 10.5. It would be a lot easier if I was ripping on like a 9 and then I go back to my 10.5 to start knitting again. So go in the stitch under, take it off. In the stitch under this stitch, take it off. Like a purl, take it off. Like a purl, take it off. Super easy, like a purl, take it off. More videos to come. Thank you for visiting Jennifer Knits, Los Angeles. See you soon.